What's up, bro?
Yo,
What's up? Just waiting on it. You ready, guys?
yeah,
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. We're doing a new podcast today. Welcome to the 90-Minute Club. Use the hashtag 90-Minute Club as well. We are on Twitter as well using at 90, capital M, minute, and then capital C for club. The beautiful game is always 90 minutes or more. Follow us on Twitter if not. We are followed by the two GOATs, as we call them. We got Dylan Perone, Nate Cass, Anthony. How you guys been?
Not bad, bro. Living the dream.
Good. I'm really excited because obviously we know the draw just happened a couple days ago. So we're going to discuss that. The World Cup draw happened for 2022. We know the United States is in Group B. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss a couple of things about the tournament and about just television broadcasters. So we know that Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2 will host their second World Cup in the history in our going generation. In 2026 will be their third. Games will also be broadcasted on Telemundo Universo in Spanish. Peacock Premium is actually streaming their matches all in Spanish. And then if you want to watch them on an app, they will be on Fox Sports app or Telemundo app. In 2018, more than 5 million viewers watched the match on Fox and Telemundo. The final between France and Croatia got about 13 million. And then during the celebration, we saw Idris Elba, a very famous actor from the Fast and Furious series. We saw Kari Lloyd, Cafu, Matthews at the ceremony. The ceremony was on Fox and Telemundo. It had a lot of problems due to the fact it was very, very long, and Fox's station wasn't in Doha. Telemundo's was, and they had translators. They had translators for it. Fox did not, but Fox did a great job with Alexi Lalas, Stuart Holden, and I forgot the other guy. I forgot his name, but the biggest challenge that I want to discuss for you guys, the first question, is that the World Cup this year is going to be in November/December. What's the big sport that Americans watch during that 1 month time?
NFL.
Absolutely, the NFL. And the big question is a lot of games are telecasted on Fox. So any predictions what's going to happen when the World Cup games happen during that time? Are they going to get pushed to a different station? Any thoughts, guys?
Well, it's early in the morning, right? Because based on the Qatar time, I think it's like 5 or 6 a.m. here most of the games.
So the matches will be at 5 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and 2 p.m. So I know there's NFL games that happen sometimes in London, or I know there's a game in Germany happening this year as well. I think I know London games usually happen, I think, 9, 10 a.m. usually?
Yeah, so I think those games could be a conflict, and then the 2 p.m. games could be a conflict because of based on when football is played. I guess we'll see. I mean, this is the first time it's happened, so we never really seen something like this before based on like the time zones and stuff, and especially that the World Cup's not occurring in the summer. Well, at least it's not the summer here. So I guess we'll see what happens. There might have to move some scheduling around based on the way that things are broadcasted, especially for the NFL.
Absolutely. Any thoughts on you, Anthony, on this topic?
No, I mean, it sucks because soccer's already like not the main focus in the United States, and to put some games on at the same time as NFL, it's obviously gonna take a hit. But what are you gonna do? The FIFA just cares about money. They wanted to have it in Qatar.
I know. I'm sorry. Keep going, Anthony. I'm sorry. I just have a thought.
So.
Okay, I'm good. I'm sorry. I know I've been hearing this, and I know Fox went up to FIFA and said, hey, please let the United States play the 2 p.m. games, which Fox and Telemundo said, hey, we want the United States games at 2 p.m., which they got. Every United States game that I checked on the schedule will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know how it works for Pacific Time or other time zones, but I do know in Eastern Standard Time for the United States, where we live in, obviously in Jersey, The 3 USA games for the group stages will be at 2 p.m., which is a blessing for all of us. Another thing I just found out is that United States England will be played on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And my opinion, it's a blessing at the same time. It's going to be a nightmare because obviously a lot of Americans that day go shopping, for the holidays, for Christmas. I don't know if they're going to be sitting around home maybe during that time. So any predictions with that? Do you think is that something they should do?
I don't know to do anything. I think the schedule is set, but it wasn't. I guess it was bad planning by them. True fans are gonna find time to watch the games regardless, but yeah, for the casuals, I don't think that's great timing for you a USA game.
I mean, obviously, yes. Obviously, I'm saying us for you. I guess for USA fans in general, it's perfect for 2 p.m. games happening. I mean, who would want to see like USA play at 5 a.m. or even 8? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even see people watching the game at all. I remember in 2010. I still can't forget this. It was against Slovenia. It was the World Cup in South Africa, and the game was at 7 or 8 in the morning. And I remember watching that, and I'm saying to myself, like, oh my God, it was just dreadful to watch in the morning. I just feel like a prime time game like that is just perfect. Having that in general, it's just going to change everything. Another thing I want to discuss for you guys is going to be the first time in history we're having 4 games on Thanksgiving. First time in history we're having a tournament, obviously, in November/December, but 4 games are going to be on Thanksgiving. Those games are Portugal, Ghana, Brazil, Serbia, Uruguay, South Korea, and Switzerland and Cameroon, which is basically the last 2 groups of G and H. Any thoughts on this, guys? I think it's a Thanksgiving treat. I think it's like, watch the beautiful sport, having a nice turkey, some gravy on the side. You can't forget about it. It's perfect. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Amazing.
I think it's perfection. What about you, Anna? Anything you want to comment on that?
I think it is a really cool thing to like have that on Thanksgiving, but again, we all know there's football on Thanksgiving, and most people in the United States obviously will be watching football instead. So it's another like step back, I would say. Just in terms of U.S. soccer, but the good thing is USA is not playing on that day, so it's not like a huge deal.
Johnny D 495 just said, I like it. Most of the NFL games suck on Thanksgiving. We need some World Cup action. And I agree 100%. It's something different. It's something Americans are not used to. And not Americans in general, I just think the world in general, because I know other sports happen during that time. So having it on Thanksgiving or another, obviously, not everyone celebrates Thanksgiving besides Americans, but it creates a different revolution because usually a lot of people have the break during that time, some kind of break. So it's going to be something different, something new to look forward to. I've been seeing some articles stating the NFL may push a couple of games later on, so they may push the games at like 3 or 4 o'clock, so it doesn't interfere with the World Cup matches. Or they might get pushed to CBS or NFL Network. There's a lot of things they can do, and obviously with all the TV rights and to reduction, there's so much the United States can do. So we have the outlets, we have the TV channels, and we have obviously streaming and all that. So there's so many things we can do. I'm going to discuss the groups. I'm just going to go down from A to H, and then we'll discuss them one by one. Sounds good, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, Group A is the host nation, Qatar. By the way, the first World Cup in the Middle East will be happening. So host nation, Qatar. You got Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands. Group B is England, Iran, United States, and the UEFA playoff winner, which will either be Scotland, Ukraine, or Wales. Group C is Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland. Group D, world champions, France. The AFC Colombia playoff winner, which will be either the United Arab Emirates, Australia, or Peru, Denmark, or Tunisia. Group E is going to be 2010 World Cup champion, Spain, CONCACAF OFC playoff winner, which is which is going to be Costa Rica and New Zealand, followed by obviously Germany and Japan's already in that group. Then Group F, you have Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. Group G is Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. Group H is Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. We're gonna start off with Group A. 1 second, you should go on. Okay, Ant, you're on. You're good?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, it's fine. Group A, we're gonna discuss. We have the host nations, Qatar. Then we have South America, which Ecuador. We have African champion / win the playoff against Egypt, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Who's your two to get out of this group, Anthony?
I think the obvious choices are obviously Netherlands and Senegal. I think it would be a surprise if it's not those two teams. While they're both not like obviously favorites or anything, I can't imagine Qatar doing anything, even though they are the host, unfortunately. And Ecuador, they're not as good as they used to be. I think they lost like 6 games in qualifying and still qualified. That's another.
It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Senegal versus Netherlands, the two Liverpool players. Mane versus Van Dijk should be fun. And yes.
By the way, that's the opening match of the World Cup. It's gonna be at 5 a.m. Opening match 5 a.m. will be Senegal, Netherlands. I don't know why Qatar and Ecuador is not playing the home game, the actual, obviously, host nation match, the opening match of the tournament. Netherlands and Senegal agreed to it. They're going to play at 5 a.m. The next match will be England and Iran, which will be Group B. And then, obviously, we'll go back to Group A, which is Qatar, Ecuador, which will be that technically opening match, in my opinion. That game's going to be at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., I believe. So, interesting fact about Qatar, some couple of notes I have. They played during the CONCACAF Gold Cup 2021. They lost against the United States, 1-0 with, I don't understand why they did a Panenka, but, during the semifinals. They also reached the semifinals of the 2021 FIFA Arab Cup, very controversial. Qatar scored in the 100th and 20th minute. They gave, I think it was like 15 minutes of extra time. Algeria scored in the last minute to win the tournament. So it's going to be interesting how Qatar feeds off this opening match. Because if Qatar manage a way to get 3 points against Ecuador, that's huge. Because, 3 points. If you get in your first game, that's going to be incredible. And also another fact is, any team that wins their opening match has an 80% chance of getting out of the group. So that first game is going to decide everything for me. Dill, do you have any predictions in this group?
I think Netherlands is clearly number one. I think it's probably this is probably like the biggest cakewalk of all the groups, to where they don't really have any opposition. We'll get into the other groups in a little bit, but I think they're definitely the favorite. And then it's probably a toss-up between, I say, Senegal and Ecuador. I think Senegal's probably playing better as of late, but I think Ecuador plays better competition in South America. We'll see. I'll probably go with Senegal because of I think their attack might just be a little bit better. Ecuador used to be more competitive back in the day. I feel like they haven't been as competitive as of late, but we'll see.
So you got Netherlands first, Senegal second?
Yeah, and then I think probably Ecuador third and maybe Qatar last. But I think if Qatar, I don't know, maybe if they could pull off a win or the opening match, feed off the energy like you said. If they can get the heads up versus Ecuador, maybe they could squeeze in a third place. I think for them it's kind of just an honor to host it. They were obviously never really a soccer country. They're just a very wealthy country, so I guess we'll see what happens. But it's probably I think this is probably the most like cut and dry group.
Johnny D for 9-5 states. Do you think being the home nation gives you any advantage? I feel like there's more of a pressure and a bigger spotlight. Johnny, I have to agree with you on that. It gives you a lot of pressure and spotlight. But if you look at history as being a host, if you look at like the last 4 or 5 years, in 2006, you had Germany got out of the group. 2010 South Africa, which was the only nation that didn't get out of their group. 2014 Brazil got out of their group. Russia 2018 got out of their group. So being the host nation gives you a clear advantage because obviously it's your home. You know what the feeling is. Obviously with the temperature going on right now in Qatar, I know they're installing a lot of air conditioned stadiums, so that's going to be a huge challenge. So it'll be interesting to see. I still have Netherlands first, Senegal second. Anthony, any prediction change? Do you think?
No, I mean, it definitely is some sort of an advantage to be home, but I don't think they have enough power at all to advance. Maybe they could come in third, maybe win one game. That would be really, really cool for them, but I don't think they could advance at all, honestly.
Okay, so you have Netherlands first, Senegal second.
Yeah.
I have the exact same thing. We're gonna move on to the next one. Next one we got England, Iran, United States, or either the winner of the playoff game is Scotland, Ukraine, or Wales. Just looking at it as a U.S. perspective, and I was watching this group, and I'm saying to myself, it's doable. We could do it. It should be a group that United States should get second. In my opinion, if they get anything less than second, it should be a failure for them. With the squad they have, they should dominate in every single way. Obviously with Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, you have Weston McKennie. The goalkeeper issue is going to be a fact with Zach Stefan. I forgot the guy's name, but they have too many goalkeepers right now in the United States. So England, we all know England's a very, very great nation. They were the finalists in Euro 2020 against Italy, lost on penalties. Their key player is obviously Harry Kane. You have Jack Grealish. If you look at Iran, the last time they played the United States was back in 1998, and the United States won that game 2-1. They were eliminated the group stage in 2018. Hypothetically, let's say if Scotland manages to win, right? If Scotland wins, they play England the last match day. It will be a 150th anniversary game between them. And also, I got to give a huge shout out to John McGinn. He's an Aston Villa player. I know his uncle very well. John McGinn, you are the GOAT. And also, Ukraine, with everything they're going through right now in the world, there's a lot of things going on, obviously, with Ukraine and Russia. I don't want to get too political, but it would be a beautiful thing just to see them there, to see them in the tournament. And then obviously Wales. I know a couple of years ago they played a friendly. It ended 0-0. Gareth Bale's 2 goals against Austria is the reason why they're in the final. They either play the winner of the Scotland-Ukraine game. If Wales advances, it could be a group of death. That would mean you have England, Iran, U.S., and Wales. So any predictions on this group? Any two teams that say to yourself, these teams are going through?
I actually was not as happy with the group as a lot of other USA fans.
Wow. Okay.
I think England, this might be their time. As much as I hate to say, they last World Cup they lost in the semifinals. In the Euros, they lost in the finals on penalties. And if you look at the Champions League, England's kind of dominating right now with Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So I think right now England is on top. The good thing is they always end up choking. So I think we also got pretty lucky with getting Iran. But then for the top 4 teams, we probably got the best options out of them with the European playoff teams. I'm still confident we can come in second. I'm confident we could maybe tie England. Hopefully, that would do a lot of wonders for us if we could just at least tie them. And I'm actually hoping that Wales win. I think Ukraine has the whole world behind them. They're got some good players. They're really solid team. And Scotland has Robertson, they have Tierney, they have McGinn, like you said, McTominay. they got some good players too, and they always play hard. Like we looked at the Euro,
I
they
agree.
tied England. They're just one of those teams that are just really difficult to play against and win. So I'm hoping for Wales actually.
So who's your two to go through out of the group, Anthony? Who's your two?
I'm gonna say England, and I'm gonna say U.S. just because I think we have to advance, but
Absolutely.
I'm really, again, like I said, I'm hoping for Wales over the other two teams because the other two could provide some difficulty. But I'm confident we could come in second.
Dill, any thoughts on this group? Any who's your two teams getting out? Any prediction?
England's for sure the favorite. I think next to Netherlands is probably like the easiest group in terms of like the team that's going to win it. I just the too much firepower on that team, and like Cass said, at a club level, all those guys just play for top clubs, and just the competition just a lot different. But I think that we could squeeze that a second place spot. I think that Scotland and Wales probably like two teams that can give us trouble. So if either of them advance through, which probably what it looks like it's going to be, I'm not sure the U.S. could beat them, but if we could tweak out a tie or something like that, I think we could maybe weasel away with a second place spot. But I think England's probably going to go pretty far this year. They're definitely probably a top 4, top 5 team in the tournament, I'd say.
So we all agree England, U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
A cu-
like I said, I am nervous of Ukraine or Scotland, even Wales. They were probably the best team.
all great teams, all great European teams.
Like out of all the top 4 teams, the team I wanted to avoid the most. But we can't complain because we got Iran. So I mean, it is what it is.
Listen, everyone's counting out these small nations. I don't know if remember Euro 2016 with Iceland, and everyone's like, oh, they're not going to make it, not going to do anything. They beat England.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
World Cup 2018, they tied against Argentina 1-1. So anything can happen. Like we say now, oh yeah, it's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed in football, and that's the beauty about it. But obviously, like if you look at the 3 nations now, and the 4th is obviously yet to be decided. I think it's going to be obviously England getting first, no doubt about it. United States getting second. Out of the 3, I would love to see Ukraine be in the tournament with everything they're going through, and what a story that would be, and the fan base, and just to get all the pressure of everything going on right now in the world with them. But if you look at the 3 nations, I think Wales is the strongest with Gareth Bale. Phenomenal player. A great team. They defeated Austria. Single-handedly, Gareth Bale brings that team on his shoulders, and he shows what's done. England, USA for me. Group C, which is, my opinion, the group of death. It's a phenomenal group. I can't wait to see this. We got Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. A couple interesting key facts is possibly Lionel Messi's last World Cup. They won the Cup America in 2000, and this year 2020, technically 21, 22, whatever you want to call it. They're going to play the Finalissima, which is the final. It's basically the Cup America champions, the Euro champions of Italy. That game will be on June 1st or 2nd, I believe. Some players to watch for Argentina is going to be Julian Alvarez, Angel, and Joaquin Correa. I know you're a big Joaquin Correa fan from Inter Milan, and then you have Di Maria and Rodrigo De Paul, a phenomenal player used to play for Udinese. If you look at these 4 nations, who's your 2 to go through and do something? And is this a group of death?
I don't think so. Just because Saudi Arabia is just like probably the worst team in the whole tournament. But I think the other 3 teams are all pretty close. I'm gonna have Argentina first, and I think Poland second. I think.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think this could be Lewandowski's last World Cup as well, and I think he's gonna want revenge for the Ballon d'Or that I think he should have won this season.
Absolutely, he should have won again. We all know he should have won.
He's on fire, and I think Mexico is not the same Mexico we've seen the past couple of years. I've been watching them in obviously the CONCACAF. They've kind of struggled. I think they came in third, only a couple points ahead of Costa Rica. So, I'm gonna back Argentina and Poland for that one. But I could see it going. I could see Mexico advancing as well. I think the three teams are pretty close.
Dill, any thoughts on this?
I think the favorites are probably Argentina and Poland. Argentina came in. Obviously they won the Copa America. Pretty sure Poland made it pretty far last year, right? I mean, last World Cup, what they lose to Portugal in PKs or something, or was that the year last year? All right.
Forgot what happened last World Cup.
In the Euros, I know they didn't get out of the group, but Lewandowski played very well. I think Lewandowski had 3 goals in the 3 games, and so he played very well.
I think it basically how he's going to play determines the team at an international level, because I don't know who else they really have. I mean, I know they have some guys, but he's definitely like the star of that ship, and I think this is probably his last season, at least internationally, for not last season, but last World Cup for sure. But he's been playing at an all-time level right now. Obviously could have won the Ballon d'Or. So I think he'll probably get them to second. But Mexico's like one of those teams that's just like always super scrappy. They have been for like hundreds of years. Just even like to beat them, it's just never an easy game. Like someone always gets hurt, or it's always one of those a lot of cards and stuff like that. So I could see them maybe tying like Poland or Argentina, just scraping away a tie and getting through that way. So I'm going to say Argentina 1, Poland 2, but Mexico could easily be 2. And then I think Saudi Arabia is out.
Dill, you were mentioning about Poland in 2018. They got 4th place in the group in 2018. They were Group H. In their group, it was Colombia, Japan, Senegal, and Poland. They only got 3 points in the tournament.
Did they beat Japan?
They beat Japan 1-0, and this was the group. It was Colombia got 6 points, they went through, and then Japan and Senegal both tied with 4. Japan got 2nd place due to the fact it was a difference of yellow cards. That was the only time in history that happened. But although I see Mexico going through, just because the fact it's the history of Mexico. They've been getting out of groups normally every World Cup as it is. I don't know if you know this, but Poland, they're very weird when it comes to group stage, especially in the World Cup. They have had a drought. I think it's about 30, 40 years around that. So they do have a huge drought. They haven't got out of the group stages, and the Euros, they did their job, and they did pretty well. But however, I think it's going to be Argentina, Mexico. And the big questions for me for Mexico, is Chucky Lozano going to be healthy during this time? Is Carlos Vela and Chicharito going to get called up for the national team? Who's going to be your goalkeeper? You have Talavera and Ochoa. You have Jesus Corona, Raul Jimenez, Diego Lainez, Hector Moreno. Who's going to be starting in this in these matches? Who's getting selected? Obviously, we don't know that yet. But just making a little prediction, I know Mexico's going through a drought, but I still see them squeezing in second. I just see it.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously a couple of statistics on Saudi Arabia. It's their 2nd consecutive tournament. They did defeat Egypt in 2018, but obviously we know they are the weakest side of the group. And interesting fact about Poland is they didn't get out of the group in 2020, although Lewandowski scored 3 goals. In their playoff match, Lewandowski and Zielinski both scored in the playoff game against Sweden to get them the spot. Piotr Zielinski, another player, a big Napoli player. He's been playing very well for club level. He showed it in the national team, obviously game against Sweden. And it may be a possibility that it might be Lewandowski's last World Cup. So I got Argentina, Mexico. We're going to skip to Group D, the world champions, France. We got you have Denmark, Tunisia, and either the winner of Australia, UAE, or Peru. So I'm going to start with you, Ann. Any 2 teams that jump out at you who's going to win this group?
Yeah, I think this is the the biggest lock of the two teams that are going to advance. I know of the curse that the World Cup winners don't advance in the next World Cup, but I can't see France not advancing. They have so much talent and just they're loaded everywhere in every position. And I think Denmark as well. They had an amazing Euros. They lost their captain in Eriksson, and that didn't stop them. They made it to the semifinals, and I think they will continue. And I have France and Denmark pretty easily in that group. Go.
You got France and Denmark. Dill, what about you? Who's your two to go out of the group? We got France, Denmark, Tunisia, or the winner of the playoff game will be either Australia, UAE, or Peru.
Yeah, I think it's probably got to be France for sure, and then Denmark. I think they're gonna do it for Christian Eriksen. Is he back playing on international level or no?
Yes, he is. He's back. He's playing back on international level.
Yeah, I think just having him back, he'll probably be the captain, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
And their goalie plays for Leicester, right? Schmeichel.
Yeah. Michael.
Yes.
Yeah.
His father was
of course,
was Peter Schmeichel.
Of course, yeah. The Manchester United legend. But I just think that they'd be a little bit too strong, especially if Eriksen's playing, and just kind of having him there would boost the team, especially after what happened last time. And even without him, they still competed in the Euro. So I think they'll probably get in. I don't know. If Australia makes it through the play-in, I guess you never know. They're usually pretty scrappy too. But I'll probably take those two to advance.
So you have France, Denmark.
Yeah.
A couple of notes I want to just read with you guys. Defending champions of 2018 is France. Their goal is to win back-to-back World Cups. A team hasn't done that since 1950s, I believe. A team hasn't won back-to-back. I think it was the 50s, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that stat.
The last team to win as a host was France, actually, in 1998 against Brazil. Another interesting fact: they were eliminated in the Euros against Switzerland in penalties. Kylian Mbappe missed a penalty, although in the Nations League he scored a penalty, so they won the final. Interesting. Another fact is they played Denmark in 2018. That match was a 0-0 draw. They also did play in the same year, 2018. They played Australia, and they only lost 2-1 due to an own goal / VAR goal by Pogba that was changed. And your star players, obviously, France. You got my opinion. You got Mbappe. You got Griezmann, Olivier Giroud, Pogba, and Hugo Lloris. That's my predictions of the top players.
Benzema's going to play this year for sure.
He's definitely going to play. And the big question is, can France break the curse? I'm actually going to discuss that later in about a minute. Denmark, fantastic 2018 performance with everything happening with Christian Eriksen. They were 2020 finalists, lost against England 2-1 with a penalty in the extra time scored by Harry Kane. Denmark will actually play France. Guess how many times this year alone?
5.
3. They will play twice in Nations League, and then obviously the World Cup. So Denmark playing France 3 times is huge because those first 2 games in Nations League, you kind of feel France know what to do. And then listen, if Denmark plays France well that first game, they get a draw. That could open everything because then I believe Denmark the second game they play the playoff team, they get 3 points there. They're basically secured either a first or second spot right there. If you look at Tunisia, interesting fact, they did defeat Panama in 2018. They have, and World Cup qualification, they haven't had a good record. They've been on and off. They lost a lot of games. I don't understand how they got there, but they did. Australia, another interesting team if they go through. They did lose against France 2-1. So they know how France can play. It will be their 5th consecutive World Cup. I believe so. I know they played Italy in 2006. They They played the Netherlands, I believe, in 2014. I believe they played Spain. So they do have experience playing. And UAE played in the 2021 Arab Cup. That was November, December time. It was replacing the Confederations Cup. And then you have Peru, which faced France in 2018. They lost against France 1-0, and Mbappe scored that game. My prediction is different. I have Denmark and Peru. I believe the curse is going to continue because I'm going to be honest. I remember we talked about 4 years ago, and we looked at the draw, and the draw was Germany, Sweden. It was Germany, Sweden, Mexico, and South Korea. And me and you were like, oh, Germany's going through, no problem. And then when they didn't, we said to ourselves, what in the world did we just witness?
Yep.
It was a shock to the world. I think it's going to happen again. I got Denmark getting first, Peru getting second. Listen, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I think the miracles can happen, and I believe the World Cup is the place to show it. Group E is basically the group, I believe, the group of the two champions. You have Spain 2010 champions, Germany 2014 champions. You got Japan, and then you have Costa Rica or New Zealand, the winner of that playoff game. Any predictions on this group, guys? Any two teams that pop out of you? Say, oh, these two are going to win the group?
Joe, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll probably go. I mean, I think Germany and Spain are going to be neck and neck for the first two spots. Probably depends on, obviously, who wins that game, obviously. I don't like Germany, so I'll probably go for Spain to be 1 and Germany to be 2, but it could easily be the other way around. I think Costa Rica probably takes 3. And, yeah, I think it finishes that way. But I think I don't see Spain or Germany missing. I mean, I think they're just too stacked. And those type of countries just always have like younger guys coming up along with the older guys, like the veterans. So they're kind of just stacked throughout from top to bottom. You look at Bayern and the team that's been dominating for years. They still have most of those guys, Mueller, Neuer. So I think as long as those guys are there, they'll probably make it out. So I'd go Spain 1, Germany 2.
Another interesting fact, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but Spain and Germany will play the second match. So the first match, I believe Spain plays, I think Germany plays one of the, either Costa Rica, New Zealand, and then Spain plays Japan. So obviously by them meeting the second game, it's going to change everything, because if Spain and Germany manage to get 3 points in both their games, they play the second match. Whoever is going to win that game, the second match, is basically determine who's going to win the group. So that's something to also fold up as well. Anthony, who's your prediction for these for this group? I'm sorry.
I think Spain will win. We saw them a lot. We saw them in the Euro semifinals. They played us very well. And then in the Nations League, they beat us. It was our first loss in like 30-something games. So I think they're on the rise again. I think they will win this group pretty easily. I think if Costa Rica wins that game, I think I'm going to put them in second.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be that's going to be just like a huge drop.
Yeah, because remember in the 2010 World Cup, they were in Italy's group.
2014.
Oh yeah, sorry, 2014. They were in Italy's group, and they actually won it with England and Uruguay, who were also in the group. They play really hard, and again, like their team that is really hard to play against. They have Keylor Navas, who is an amazing goalie, and I think Germany. I think they're on the decline again. We've been seeing it the last World Cup, the last Euros. Even Bayern, yeah, they're still dominating Germany, but in the Champions League, we're seeing they're not as dominant as they always have been. Like they lost the first leg to Red Bull Salzburg. They're losing to Villarreal right now. I just think they're on a decline, and I think if Costa Rica advances, if they beat New Zealand, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in second.
I love that prediction. So you got who's first? You said Spain. Spain first, Costa Rica second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Germany third, Japan fourth. If New
But
Zealand,
no,
so I have Germany going second because I don't think New Zealand's good.
let's see. A couple of notes I just want to point out. Obviously, Spain was the 2010 champions. They didn't get out the group in 2014. The curse continued there. Spain was eliminated 2018 by Russia in penalties. They lost the Euro 2020 semifinals in penalties against Italy. Luis Enrique is taking charge of the squad. And the big question is Alvaro Morata going to be their main striker? And then two players that I say to watch out for is Pedri and Gavi, the way they're playing in club level. And then Germany 2014 champions didn't get out the group in 2018. And it's the first time in history that two nations that won a World Cup didn't get out the group back to back. If you see that 2010, 2014, 2014, 2018. I think it's the only time in history for that to happen. Germany lost in Euro 2020 against England. If you look at Japan, they lost against 2018 against Belgium 3-2. They lost in the 90th minute after they had a 2-goal lead. So the thing about Japan is they can score goals, but they just don't know how to defend. And that's the big question for me. Costa Rica, some interesting facts about them is they defeated the United States, their last qualification game. I believe it was 2-0. They made it to the quarterfinals in 2014 against the Netherlands, defeated Greece. In 2018, they didn't get out the group. And Keylor Navas is the key player for me. If you look at New Zealand, the last time they were at the World Cup was 2010. They tied against Italy in that tournament. So if they make it, don't count them out just yet because they're going to be a team very similar to North Macedonia. They're going to sit back and they're going to fight for the point, like I say. But obviously, I think it's going to be Germany, Spain. I think Germany have more experience. I think they're more developed right now. I know with everything that happened in the Euro and obviously last tournament, I don't think history is going to repeat itself for them. I got Germany first, Spain second. I feel like it's really going to determine in that second match. Whoever wins that second match is going to win the group for me. We're going to move on to Group F. We got Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. We're going to start with you, Ant. Any two teams that pop out, you say, oh, guaranteed win.
I actually said if there was a group of death, that this would be it. Just because
I love it.
Because I think Canada being in pot 4 was crazy because they dominated qualifying against USA. And I think, again, another team that's on the rise. It's their first World Cup in, was like or whatever it was, and they're just playing phenomenal right now. They didn't have Alphonso Davies, who's their best player for the last, I think, like 5 games of qualifying, and they still came pretty. So I think that's really tough top 4 team to get. And then I think Morocco, obviously they have Hakimi, they have Ziyech. They did really well in the last African Cup of Nations. I think they lost in the semis, if I'm not mistaken.
Say that again, Ant?
I think Morocco came in 4th, I think, in the last.
I believe they did. I think Morocco, Iran was in that group. I believe. I know it was Spain, Portugal. I believe were in that same group.
And Croatia, they're tough. Obviously, they made the second World Cup, the finals actually. Sorry.
Yeah, they did make the finals.
Modric, one of the best midfielders in the world still. My boy Brozovic, he's the heart and soul of Inter. And I think they're another team you never count out. They're just so well rounded, and they just are never out of a game. Like if you saw in the Euros, they were down 3-0 to Spain, right? And they came back. They lost, but they came back. It was insane. So I think I'm gonna say, I don't know. This one's tough. I really could see any team like 1 through 4 just alternating. But I guess I'll say I'm gonna have Morocco in last. I'm gonna have Canada in 3rd. Who's the top one team in this group? Sorry.
So Group F is Belgium, Canada,
Belgium.
Morocco, and Croatia.
I think this is the last chance for the golden generation for Belgium that they so called it. They've been the number one ranked team in the world for the past however many years, and they haven't won anything because of it. So I think this is their last chance with like Lukaku, De Bruyne. I don't even know if Hazard's going to play. He's just been non-existent the last 2 years. So I'm going to say Croatia wins the group, and I'm going to put Belgium at second. But I would not be surprised if Canada or Morocco squeak out of that group.
So who's your two to go through? Who's first place for you?
I have Croatia and then Belgium.
You have Croatia, Belgium. Wow, that's a surprise twist. Okay, how about you, Dill? Who's your two to go through?
I think you got to pick Croatia. I don't know if their team is. I don't know if the fire that they had lit under them the last couple of years is going to stay lit. So I don't know if I could put them first. I think just Belgium has more firepower, but Croatia definitely I think makes it through. Just too much heart with that squad, and they still have like the seniority with Modric and some of those guys. Perisic, is he going to play?
Yeah,
Perisic, yeah, he's going to play.
Yeah,
he's been amazing for Inter.
Yeah, I know that he's an Inter guy. Brozovic, Inter guy too. So I think they'll lead them to second. I think that Belgium just has too much firepower to not come in first. I think this has got to be their time because they've been supposed to be like basically the next big thing for quite some time now, and they haven't really brought that to fruition. So I think this is their time. I think they're probably a top 4, top 5 ranked team this year as well. I know they tend to choke, but I don't know if they do this time around. But I got them winning. Got Croatia in second. I think I'm going to go Canada 3 just because kind of how they've been playing in the CONCACAF. I mean, they beat USA. I think they came in first, but right, Cast, in the whole thing?
Yeah, they came first in the whole group, yeah.
Pretty handily, yeah. I like Jonathan David a lot. He's been a beast. And I think if Alphonso Davies is back, I think that makes them a really tough team. So I think that they could squeak out a 2 spot, but probably if I was a betting man, I would say that they come in third, and then it ends with Morocco in last. But Morocco has some players too, so I think that's probably like a pretty competitive group. I don't know if there's going to be like any crazy blowouts. I think everybody's like, I don't think any game is like too easy. So I guess we'll see how it happens.
So you have Belgium and Croatia, or Croatia, Belgium?
Nah, Belgium first.
Yeah, Belgium and then Croatia.
Yeah, I'll go Belgium first.
I'm gonna talk about a couple of statistics I found. Belgium were the semi-finalists in 2018 against France. They were phenomenal. They were excellent. I thought they were supposed to be the team to win the World Cup that year. Quarterfinals in 2020 against Italy. They were 4th place in the Nations League against the Italians. My players to watch out for is Kevin De Bruyne, Courtois, Lukaku, Dries Mertens, and Hazard, and the youngster Doku. He had a phenomenal game. He's phenomenal in the Euros. I thought he made a huge difference. For Canada, it's their first appearance since 1986.
Wow.
And 1986 was the same year that Diego Armando Maradona won the World Cup. Alphonso Davies, if he's healthy by that time, I think he's going to be a game changer.
He is playing today, so he's good.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure on that, so that's good. Because I know there were a couple of reports he's not healthy or whatever the case may be. Morocco, they were eliminated in 2018 group stage. And their big star player is Hakimi from Paris Saint-Germain. He's a player that could possibly make a difference, obviously, but one man can't make a team, so that's going to be the huge deciding factor for me. Croatia, we all know they were 2018 finalists against France. They played a phenomenal game in the round of 16 against Spain in the Euros. They were down 3-1, tied the game 3-3, lost 5-3. Key players for me is Luka Modric, Kovacic, Perisic, and Brozovic. As much as my heart wants to say Croatia, I'm going to go with Canada. I'm going to say Belgium first, Canada. It's going to be the waffles, and you need some maple syrup. They come together. Bada bing, bada boo. It's going to come together. It's going to make a beautiful special. You got Belgium and Canada. We're going to make it happen. So Group G is a group that I'm very, very excited for. It's Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. I'm gonna go start with you, Anthony. Any predictions in this group?
I think this is kind of another like balanced group. Not really a group of death, but I think Brazil will win. They just took over Belgium for the number one rank. Um, Even though they didn't win Copa America, so I never really understood how those rankings work. Doesn't make any sense, but I think um, they got some really good young players. Vinicius Jr. has been amazing this season. Eder Militao, Thiago Silva he got like another life at Chelsea. I think they will win it, and then we all know about Switzerland. We've too much recently in the Euros and World Cup qualifying. I think they will come in second, but Serbia is a sleeper team. They have Dusan Vlahovic, probably top two striker in Serie A. Milinkovic-Savic, who I think is so underrated for people who don't watch Serie A. He could be one of the best midfielders in the world.
He's the beast.
I can't believe he's still on Lazio. I think he's gonna leave this season. Either Juventus is looking at him, Inter, Man U, a bunch of teams. So those two players are amazing, but again, that's not enough. So I think they'll come in third, and then Cameroon. They have a good history. They have to go, but I don't think they could do anything in this particular group. So I'll have them last.
So who's your two? I'm sorry. Say it again.
I have Brazil and Switzerland with Serbia as a sleeper team.
You have Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia. Okay, perfect. Dill, any thoughts on this group? Any two teams that say to yourself, are they going to get automatically, or it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for Brazil in this group?
No, I think Brazil probably handily either wins all the games or maybe wins two, ties one, something like that. They just got too much firepower. Marquinhos too from PSG. On top of the guys that Ann already said, I think they're just too deep. I'm gonna go with Serbia too, though. I just switch it up a little bit. I think I like Milinkovic-Savic a lot. I think that Serbia is pretty tough and they compete. I think Switzerland's also like that, though. They kind of always play everybody hard. I think, was it 2010 when Spain won the World Cup? Didn't they lose to Switzerland in the first game, though?
They did. 2010, they did lose against Switzerland.
Yeah,
That's a good statistic.
And then they ended up winning the whole thing anyways. But just kind of shows that they play tough. But just to have something different, I guess I'll go Switzerland 3. But I wouldn't be surprised if they came 2. And then I think Cameroon is one of the tougher African nation teams, but I just don't think they're as well-rounded as these other squads, especially the European ones. And then obviously Brazil is the best, if not top 2 in South America. So I'll rock with them.
Okay, so you have Brazil first, and who's your second? I'm sorry?
I'll go Serbia second.
Okay, you got Serbia second. Interesting fact, Serbia and Switzerland did play each other in 2018. Serbia, although lost 2-1, I know Xhaka scored in Shaqiri. I know Shaqiri had the bird symbol. I don't know what that's about. It's some political thing. I know Switzerland won 2-1 that game against Serbia, but obviously this is a different Serbia. And a different type of Brazil as well. Interesting fact is that this is the only group that I found out that Brazil faced Serbia in 2018, faced Switzerland in 2018, and then faced Cameroon in 2014. So it's so interesting and so cool to see that Brazil played these 3 nations in a span of an 8-year span. That's pretty cool to say. I think that's the only group that ever happened. Brazil tied against Switzerland in 2018. They defeated Cameroon in 2014, and then I believe against Serbia, I believe they did win. Brazil's trying to get that 6th trophy, that coveted trophy. I hope it doesn't happen, just because obviously no country's going to catch them in the matter of time. They lost against Belgium in 2018 quarterfinals. As of now, they have 5 World Cups. Vinicius Jr., obviously the key player to watch. But my thing I really want to debate is who's going to be their goalkeeper. Is it Ederson or Alisson? Two great goalkeepers. You got Manchester City and you got Liverpool. Probably the two best goalkeepers right now in playing in Europe. So that's going to be a huge debate going on when we discuss this later on before the tournament even starts. And also another fact is, like, especially with Brazil right now, they don't have to rely on Neymar as much. They have other star players that can really push this team. When you look at Serbia in 2018, they were living in the group stage. Key players for me is Vlahovic from Juventus. When he went from Fiorentina to Juventus, I thought to myself, I was like, oh, it's not a good move. It's not right for him, but he's playing phenomenal. What a player he is, and I really think he's changed the dynamic. Mitrovic Savic from Lazio, what a player he is. And then another player I'm going to say is, I don't know if you guys know him, but his name is Jovic. He used to play for Real Madrid. What a player he is. And then there's Milenkovic for Fiorentina. So a lot of Serie A players that are Serbian and play in Serie A and play in Europe. So that's going to be huge, a huge thing. And then obviously we have Switzerland. They won the group of qualification. They tied against Italy twice. They lost against them obviously in the Euros. They lost against Spain in the Euros of 2020. In 2000. Okay. Let's see. Key players for me is Shaqiri, Xhaka, Embolo, Severovic, and Jan Sommer. Severovic is getting older. Is he going to play in the tournament? And the key player for me is Jan Sommer. What a tournament he had of a Euro. Great goalkeeper. Phenomenal for Mönchengladbach. So he's a phenomenal goalkeeper. And then obviously we have Cameroon. They were living in the group stage of 2014. Brazil defeated them. They missed the 2018 World Cup. And my two players that are surprises for Cameroon is Anguissa from Napoli and then Abubakar. Those are two players for me that can really make a difference. I got a little surprise for you guys. I got Brazil in first and Serbia in second. I just feel like, listen, Mitrovic Savic, if he delivers the ball to Vlahovic and Vlahovic gets hot, nobody stops Serbia. And Serbia, that first game, it's going to be a struggle. They get Brazil. If they manage to find a way to get a tie, they're really, really going to probably get out of the group for me. If Serbia manages to get a win, they'll be in dreamland. But I got Brazil and Serbia for me. Group H is the last group of the day, guys. We have Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. I'm going to start with you, Anthony, on this group.
Yeah, I think not a bad draw for Portugal. That's the team I'm going to be rooting for with the United States. Ronaldo's last World Cup. Bittersweet, obviously, because Italy didn't get through, but I'm happy that they did instead of North Macedonia. Yeah, they have just amazing players. I don't even know how they got to the playoff, but Bruno and Ronaldo, obviously, Man U connection. They linked up in the playoff against Macedonia, got them through. João Felix, Diego Jota. It's just they got talent everywhere. So I think they'll win pretty easily, I would hope. And then I'm gonna say Uruguay, even though their best two players are like really old and kind of washed up, Cavani and Suarez, but they have Valverde. I don't know if you guys know him. He's on Real Madrid.
Yep.
Yeah, Valverde, yeah.
I just think
is Muslera the goalie again?
Wait, you said Muslera?
Is he the goalie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Muslera is the goalie, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so Uruguay has they probably might have the oldest team in the tournament. But I just don't think Son alone is enough. Even though he's amazing, I just don't think there's enough around him on South Korea. And Ghana, again, I don't see a player that is going to stand out for me for them to make any noise in this group. So I'll say Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, and Ghana.
Wow. Dill, any thoughts on you on this group?
I think we should bring up the fact that
It's going to be the Uruguay versus Ghana rematch. Remember what happened with
Oh yeah.
Suarez handball?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like if Ghana plays Uruguay, that could be like a 2-1 or 1-1 or like maybe like a scrappy game where Ghana could squeak out a tie or something, or maybe even a win just because of how much that game meant and of what happened. I feel like they won't forget that. And Ghana actually they've always been like in history. I feel like they've always like been to World Cups. I feel like out of the African side, I feel like they qualify all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously they never win, but they always kind of compete. So I think they're probably like a sleeper to come in third. But I don't know. I think the favorites have got to be Portugal, just too strong attacking wise. I don't know how good their defense is, but I mean, I think Uruguay is definitely on their way out in terms of age, but they're a strong South American team who's been scrappy for literally since soccer started. They've always competed, so I think that they'll probably come in second. But I'm going to go with Portugal 1. And then
So
South Korea's got to be last. They just don't really have any roster besides Sun. But I could see it. I don't know. They beat Germany last World Cup,
they
right?
did defeat Germany in the last game of the group stage 2018. They did.
The crazy thing, I mean, because like we're picking on basically with our minds and what makes sense, but soccer's like, especially it's only one game, and I mean, I'm sure everybody thought that Italy was going to smoke North Macedonia, and we lost. So upsets could really happen anywhere. So I think I'm going to go. Let's go Portugal 1, Ghana 2, Uruguay 3. Let's go. With
Wow.
Let's spice it up.
Wow.
Let's spice
You
it
know
up.
what? I really think Ghana in World Cup, especially in group stages, have been pretty well. In 2006, they got out of the group. 2010, they got out of the group. They got to the quarterfinals, obviously, and Uruguay and Luis Suarez the handball, and they lost the penalties. In 2014, they tied against Germany. 2018. I don't know if they were in 2018. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think they qualified instead.
No, I don't know if they qualify, but Ghana's a team in World Cups, especially in group stage matches. They play very, very well. A couple of statistics I want to pull out for you guys is Portugal in the round of 16. They're limited by Uruguay. They're limited by Uruguay in 2018. Edison Cavani had 2 amazing goals. Interesting fact that Edison Cavani didn't play in the quarterfinal against France in that match. Interesting fact is Portugal is getting a rematch against Ghana of 2014. So Portugal played against Ghana, so they know what to expect. And Portugal, obviously, we know what happened against Serbia. They had to go a playoff route. And, they had to go through these 2 games, but they played the 2 playoff games, but they got the job done. And that's the difference. They got the job done, and they went there and said, hey, we're going to win. We're the job done. And no, I know Ronaldo's getting older, and we all know he's the superstar we grew up with watching as a child. But at the end of the day, this will be his last World Cup. And Anthony, you couldn't have said it better. It is bittersweet. However, at the end of the day, it is happening. If you look at Ghana against Uruguay is a rematch of 2010. Luis Suarez controversial handball. I know Ghana played obviously Portugal. I don't know if they ever played South Korea in history. I don't remember. But Uruguay in 2018, they advanced to the quarterfinals. They lost against France. Cavani and Luis Suarez may potentially be their last World Cup. Interesting fact, I believe they're the only 2 players that are playing. They played 5 consecutive World Cups. 2000, I believe it was 2006, 2010, 14, 18, and then this will be their 5th, I believe. I believe so. Some players to watch out for: Lucas Torreira, Bentancur, Cazares, Diego Godin, and Muslera. Those are my couple of players for Uruguay to watch out for. You got South Korea. They didn't get the group in 2018, but they did defeat Germany. And the star player is Son Heung-min. We know what he could do for Tottenham. Great player. The problem is to the fact one player can't win games, and we all know that. And that's the sport of obviously soccer or football, as you want to call it. But I actually have a different. I have Uruguay getting first, and I have Portugal getting second. And I'm going to tell you why. Uruguay, their first game, faces South Korea. I believe South Korea is the weakest opposition out of the four. Portugal plays Ghana. Ghana's not a scrub team. You know, like I said, okay, it's guaranteed 3 points because in past histories they are African Cup of Nations in the past history. The second match is Portugal against Uruguay, so that's going to change everything, and that's going to be the deciding factor of who wins the group. And I did realize this, that the big nations are always facing each other in the second match. If you see, it's Spain, Germany, same thing. They're playing in the second match. So I do see this repetition. Another thing I want to point out to you guys, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but let's take out Portugal out. And let's place in Italy. Let's say Italy did win their 2 games. They would be in Portugal's spot. So it would be Italy, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea. Italy faced Ghana in 2006, defeated them. Italy faced Uruguay in 2014 and lost. Potential rematch that could have happened. And Italy, South Korea happened in 2002. What happened? We lost 2-1 in golden goal. So imagine Italy made it. It would have been 2000, 2006, 2002, 2006, 2014. It would have been all 3 one shot of history right there to be making. Obviously, Italy's not there. But if you see a young player becoming the next big thing, who is it for you, Anthony? Who's your hot player? Your key young player to score goals this tournament?
I'm gonna say someone that many people might not know. I know him from FIFA, and now because Man U just hired Ajax coach, and he is a potential new player for Man U. His name's Anthony. He plays on obviously Ajax in Brazil, and I think he could start at right wing for them. I'm not sure what kind of formation they're gonna do because they don't really have a striker. I don't know how if they're gonna put Neymar as striker. I don't know, but I think he could potentially right wing. If not, I think he's gonna have some type of role. He's a very young player, and I think he could have some moments. So that's who I'm going to say, and I hope Man U signs him in the next couple of days.
I actually did not know that. That's actually good information to know. Like I said, this is the beauty about the World Cup, especially you have these young kids that you don't know about at all. For example, remember 2014, James Rodriguez. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Scored that goal against Uruguay. Social media blew up, and he got signed for $110 million. So that's the beauty of this tournament, because this tournament defines not only your national level, but your club level as well. Because obviously, if you make a great tournament at the national level, your club level is going to skyrocket and rise, and that's the beauty about it. My surprise player, and a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, it's 2 guys." I think Vlahovic, just because he's having a phenomenal season with Juventus, started with Fiorentina, a great player. He can score goals. If he gets service, if he gets out of the group, that's going to be the big discussion for me. However, another player for me is Doku for Belgium. Very, very young player, very fast. He's got speed. The game against Italy in the Euros, he had a phenomenal game, going back and forth. I think if Doku started that game, I think they could have won. But at the end of the day, history's history. But I think Doku or Vlahovic will be my 2 youngsters to be the next big thing, especially in this tournament. Dylan, how about you? Any youngster you think that's going to be the next big thing or surprise you in this tournament?
Jonathan David from Canada. I don't know how old.
Wow. Okay. I see that.
But I feel like he's just kind of coming on to the scene as of recently. I know me and Ant both said that they could be a sleeper to maybe squeak out of that group, and I think if they do, it's going to be because of him. He plays really well in France right now, and I think that he's going to do the same on the international level. He's been doing it in the CONCACAF division as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he puts in a couple. So I would like to think that I'm going to predict that he gets on the score sheet a couple times if they make it out of the group.
I do see that. A
Another
big question. I'm sorry, Anthony. You can go.
uh,
I'm sorry.
I just thought about because I'm watching the Bayern Villarreal game. Dan Juma, he's from Netherlands. He's on Villarreal, scored against Bayern. Like another player I know from FIFA. I think he could be another one, a potential breakout player for Netherlands.
He scored today for Villarreal.
Yeah, against Bayern.
Wow. Okay, cool. That's awesome to know. That's phenomenal. It's crazy how international football and club level they interfere with each other. It's just a beautiful thing. Any goalkeeper you see making an impact in this tournament? For me, it's Jan Sommer for Switzerland. I love the guy. Great goalkeeper. He can go box to box. Likes to come out of his net. I think he's going to be the surprise goalkeeper if Switzerland do make it out of the group.
I agree. I think many people probably don't watch the German league or Mönchengladbach, but every tournament, every international game, he is always there, making save after save. Against France, he was amazing. Against Italy, a couple games, he was phenomenal. So I agree with that one. I think he's one of the most underrated goalies in the world. And then I'll throw out Ochoa just because another one that always plays well.
That's something I was going to say. The big question for me for Mexico is Talavera or Ochoa going to be the starter? And Mexico is having a huge – they don't know who to start, and that's going to be this question. They're both old. They're both getting up there in their 30s, so it's going to be a big topic to talk about. Obviously, later on, we'll definitely talk about it before the tournament happens. But, Dill, who's your surprise goalkeeper for this tournament?
I was gonna say Ochoa if Ant didn't, but what country is the goalie from Chelsea on? Mendy.
Mendy's Senegal. Senegal, yes.
Yeah, so I know that Ant said that Senegal can make it out of the group, and I could definitely see that happening too. I think I had them coming in second in their group as well. I think if they do that, it's going to be partially because of him. I think he set like some crazy record for Chelsea about like the most clean sheets or something or most.
Interesting fact about Mendy, he won the Champions League.
Yeah, he won a bunch of.
He won the Africa Cup. He was phenomenal in the penalty shootout against Egypt, which was controversial in so many ways because of the lasers at Mohamed Salah. So he could be another goalkeeper. He could be a difference. Obviously, he's getting up there in age. He's up in his 30s, but I think he's going to make a huge difference too as well.
Yeah, I think he's kind of. I mean, even though he's older, I think he's kind of just getting his break now in terms of like playing for a big club, getting his time for Chelsea, and obviously it's been working for them. So I'll probably go with him, someone to look out for. Because if Senegal gets through, I think it'll be a lot because of him, and probably because of Mane, of course.
Okay. Two more questions. Next question is going to be top goal scorer.
Dale, you can go first. I've been answering first.
Top goal scorer, Dale.
Let me see. I'd like to see like if they have betting odds on this. They probably do. I'm gonna say Harry Kane.
Wow. Okay.
Here's my reason.
I mean, he had phenomenal Euro, by the way. He had scoring goals.
Here's my reasoning why. I think they have a pretty easy division. I mean, pretty easy group. Like I think that there should be the for sure win. So he'll probably pick up a couple goals just in that. He also takes penalty kicks for the team, and he normally scores them. And he's that kind of player where he's like pretty much a poacher. Not to say that he's not good all around, but he's not the type of guy that's going to run through the whole team. He's going to, they're going to use their speed with Sterling and the guys they have on the wings and set him up. Tall guy, he'll probably score a couple of headers. I mean, a lot of people don't like him, but the dude scores goals. So I think probably him. I think I'll say him. He's probably like a safe betting option to at least score a few goals because he just always scores in every competition he plays in. So
I can't disagree with that, especially with Harry Kane. The big thing for me is I know during the Euros he had a drought. Those 3 games in the group stage, he didn't score goals. So that's going to be the big debate for him. Can he score in the group stage? I know in 2018, first game against Tunisia scores. Next game I don't remember who they played, but I think it was Panama. Scores a couple of goals there. So he's a player that if he gets hot quick, he's going to score goals. And we saw that later on during the Euro. Scored against Ukraine. Scored against Germany. Scored against Denmark. So he's a player that could really, really make a difference. Who's your prediction, Anthony, for your top goal scorer of the tournament?
It might be boring, but I'm gonna go Benzema. I think he's just on fire right now.
Benzema could do it, absolutely.
I think France again. I think they'll make it out of the group pretty easily, go pretty far, and I think just with all the talent around him, he's gonna get plenty of chances. And I think right now he was another one that could have won the Ballon d'Or. I think it's amazing what he's doing right now. And I think, again, he has all the chances in the world with France. So I think I'm going to go Benzema.
I'm going to say for me, I know this might be, you can't bet against Ronaldo. I mean, the guy's a goal scoring machine. He scored goals against Tottenham. He scored goals in the Euro. In the 2 playoff games, he wasn't there that much. Although he's not there, he does provide assists, does his job. However, another surprise player for me, if you really look at it, I'm gonna say Mane, Senegal, great player, phenomenal player. Scored a goal yesterday for Liverpool, so he's gonna be a guy that, listen, if he gets his game going on, he gets his speed. I really think he's gonna make the difference. But watch out for Keito Balde for Senegal. Phenomenal player. I really think if they link together as well, I think they're going to score goals. And obviously, last but not least, who's going to win the World Cup? Anthony, go first. Who's your team to win?
I'm gonna have the dream matchup in their last 2 World Cups: Portugal versus Argentina. And
I love it.
Ronaldo lifting the trophy and retiring from Portugal.
Okay. You see Ronaldo winning player of the tournament as well.
Yeah, I guess if they win it all, yeah, I think so. Even though Portugal, like I said, has a lot of players, so they could win and he could not be the top scorer or player of the tournament. But yeah, I'll say that too.
Dill, who's your team to win the World Cup?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's like a couple options. I think like my heart probably goes by Argentina just because they came in. But I'm still salty about the time they came in second versus Germany. But I think aside from like Italy, Argentina's like international record's been like pretty sick for this. I don't think they've lost in like a long time.
Yeah, they have pretty much very similar to the same record.
Yeah, they have a few ties, but they haven't lost. And something about the way that Messi plays there, they've just been playing better. Di Maria's looked like he's found like a second life recently too. He's been playing pretty good. So I think I'd like them, but I also could see France repeating. I know it hasn't been done in history in a long time, but like Mbappe is probably, I mean, just the best player in the world right now in terms of just youth and where he's going and scoring goals every time. And like when you have that with Benzema, who's also playing at an all-time level, it's like almost impossible to stop that team. And they just have so much depth. Even like the defense is good. All those guys play in top-level clubs. The midfield's insane. I mean, Pogba's still going to be there. And, I mean, you just really have studs everywhere. So I'll go with Argentina. And I don't know if the way that the groups work out, they could play each other. But remember what happened when they played each other in the last World Cup. Argentina got out, I think, with an early lead. And then Mbappe, like, literally took over the game. He was, like, literally just too fast. I remember, like, in my head of him dribbling through the whole team and then Rojo, like, pulling him by his shirt because they couldn't catch him. And it was a penalty, if you remember that.
Yes, I do remember that.
I feel like I could see that happening.
I do.
So I'll probably go with France, but maybe France-Argentina final. I think that would be pretty cool. And I would like for Argentina to beat them this time, but I don't know if they could do it.
I listen. I don't know. I don't know. Anthony, Argentina, Portugal final.
I
That's
don't
a
even
dream final to see. I want to see those two go at it so bad.
I don't even know if it
But
work out like that. I would love to see that. Like that
I actually don't know. Hold on. Could it happen? Hold
we
on, let me
would
see.
possibly know until
Um.
we
Yeah, it can happen. Actually, it can.
okay.
Argentina, Portugal is a possibility. It is. Um. Actually, I have like a map right here. That's why I'm like looking at it. For me, I love Belgium. I love Belgium. I love the way they play. It's just like the fact it's like, especially 2018, they got the semifinals. Can they get over that hump and get to the final? Because I feel like if they get to the final, they could win. It's the problem is, can they get over that hump? And especially, like you said, this is their last generation. And, you got Kevin De Bruyne, Courtois, Lukaku, Mertens, Hazard, maybe Doku. You got Batshuayi. So there's a lot of players out there that can make a difference, but can Belgium collectively come together and make a unit? And that's my problem for me. But if there's a sleeper team to win, I'm going to say the United States. And everyone's counting me. Oh, you really say United States? But I just checked the odds on William Hill. If you bet $10 on the United States to win, it's $1,500. If I'm me, I'm throwing $10 on United States. The biggest question for me is the goalkeeper option. They have too many goalkeepers right now. Who's going to be your starter? Is it Zach Stefan? Is it I forgot his name. The bald guy. I forgot his name.
No, they have Matt Turner. He's
Okay. They got Matt Turner. They got Zach Stefan. They have two goalkeepers that are phenomenal. Brazil has the same issue with goalkeepers. Who's going to be theirs? But my dream final is Belgium, United States. That's my dream final.
Remember when Belgium played the United States and Tim Howard had like 40 saves?
That's what I'm trying to say. Listen. The U.S. played Belgium in the past, and they have experience. I want to see the United States win the World Cup. Obviously, the dream World Cup, as Anthony already said it, it's got to be Argentina, Portugal. It's got to be the two best players in the world going at it. Social media blows up. TVs everywhere is hooked to this game faster than Nutella pizza. Like this is the game to watch. This is the game to see. But I think Argentina will win the World Cup. I think my prediction is there's the new kid. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, Julian Alvarez. He's the young kid for Argentina. He played with Messi. He scored a goal over the weekend. I really think if they make it to the final, Julian Alvarez scores a goal, or maybe Di Maria will make a difference. Before we go, is there anything you guys want to add?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything basically.
Anything you want to add though before we head off there? Dill.
Sorry, there's people in my house.
No, it's fine. Anything you want to add before we get off the air?
No, I mean I'm sure we'll be on a lot.
We'll definitely make more. Obviously, this is just a quick prediction. Obviously like a fantasy prediction. We're gonna know obviously all the players and all the who's getting selected for the 23 men later on in the future. By the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed this, but if you go to worldsoccertalk.com and you click their first link, there's an attachable bracket right here, as you can see right here. What I was thinking about doing, guys, I was thinking about making our own brackets. And our next podcast, we can kind of review our own brackets, make our predictions, and talk about it. And guys, make sure if you guys are online, follow worldsoccertalk.com. They're phenomenal. They have upcoming schedules for every single league, including the World Cup. They also have a great fan base. Also, they're great bloggers as well, talking about the beautiful game. You can follow them as well at worldsoccertalk.com. But I think this is it. We're going to wrap this up. So next time, guys, just make sure you download that PDF, and we can obviously talk about that as well. It's a low bracket. The website's called worldsoccertalk.com. We're just going to about do it. We got Ant, we got Dill. We are the 90 Minute Club. Follow us using the hashtag 90 Minute Club on Twitter and also at 90 Minute Club on Twitter as well. We'll post our video on YouTube and later as well on our Instagrams as well. Please follow and check us up on that. It's been a pleasure, guys. We'll see you. The most beautiful game in the world, 90 minutes or more. We'll see you guys next episode. We'll see you guys. See you, Ant. See you, Dill.
Close.
Peace.